So what can be done to try and revitalise West Yorkshire's second biggest city? The Respect Party is holding its first conference in Bradford tomorrow since its breakthrough electoral success in the city. And we can talk to MP for Bradford West, George Galloway, who joins us on the programme now. Good morning, Mr Galloway.
Good morning.
It just seems negative story after negative story. As one of the city's MPs, how on earth do you begin to go about revitalising Bradford and turning around its fortunes?
Well, I don't think an MP can revitalise a city, but a government can, and you've just been talking to a member of the local government, and of course the national government is even more important in that regard. So our conference this weekend, being held in Bradford for precisely those reasons, is demanding virtually the declaration of a national emergency in Bradford. This is becoming we've talked about a big hole in Bradford. This is becoming a black hole in the map of Yorkshire and in, therefore, the map of England and the United Kingdom. We have the fastest growing unemployment in the entire country in one constituency, in my constituency of Bradford West. And the Thomas Cook affair has compounded this in an absolutely devastating way.
How angry were you about the Thomas Cook announcement?
Unemployment is doubling in periods of weeks, not months. So this is a national emergency, and I'm afraid we'll need more than homelessness packs telling people what to do if you're homeless, what to do if you're unemployed, what to do if you simply cannot make ends meet and all of your neighbours are in the same boat. This is a crisis.
What can you do then as a lone Respect MP voice? You can be a thorn in government's side, but practically what can you do to try and resolve what you describe as a national emergency?
That's it. That's my job. That's my job, to do what I've just done with you, and as I do all day to journalists and anyone who will listen to me, that Bradford, once one of the great cities of England, comparable to Leeds in not only my lifetime, almost in your lifetime, comparable in every respect. Now Leeds is booming, and I thank God for that, and I wish you all the best. Bradford is sinking, and we have to do something about it.
But what can be done?
The government has to get up off its backside and do something. Otherwise, a city which has a demography, which everybody listening to this knows, a demography which is extremely young, the youngest city in England already, by 2020 the youngest city in the whole of Europe, that what should be a blessing is going to turn out to be a time bomb. Now, anybody want to sit beside a time bomb? I'm sure the people in Leeds don't want to. The people in England oughtn't to want to. We need urgent action. We need to fill in that hole in the centre of the city. Yes, we need to save the Odeon, but above all, instead of getting jobs, which is what we need, we are losing jobs by the barrel load. Hundreds of jobs went just this week.
It's very powerful rhetoric, and I'm sure that the people in Bradford will appreciate, that you sound to be so much on their side. But in terms of the reality of making it happen, how, as the city's MP, can you do that?
Well, if you'll forgive me, I just answered that. All I can do is talk about it. All I can do is demand action for it. And that's the problem, you see. Bradford, for 30 years, has had a group of politicians running it, of all parties, in the town hall and in the parliament, who've scarcely even been noticed, who've been fiddling their thumbs at the very least. And the city has sunk underneath their feet, and nobody in the country's even been told about it. And before you know it, we're in a national emergency.
So you can sorry to interrupt you. You can go to David Cameron. You can talk to leading politicians and say, look, Bradford is in a state of national emergency. You can say to them exactly what you're saying to us. But in terms of practical steps, what are the key things for you that they need to do to resolve this national emergency in Bradford? How can they create jobs? How can they sort out Westfield? What needs to happen here?
Well, I wish we had enough. I wish we had a whole programme on this. We spent £23 million of precious public money on a pool in the centre of the city. The joker that you just spoke to is a part of the administration that done that. Westfield has for 7 years been a giant hole in the centre of the city. Somebody has to fill it in. If Westfield won't, government must, because a city cannot function with a hole in its heart. The Odeon, an iconic building, which is vital to the sense of self-esteem, self-worth, for the city of Bradford is currently wrapped up in shrink wrap to save its crumbling, tumbling masonry from falling.
And I know you've made promises in your manifesto when the people elected you.
Please don't say that. Don't believe that propaganda. I told you honestly right from the first line of this interview, I can do nothing except talk and demand and agitate for things. I have no power. I'm a single MP. But I'll tell you what, if they'd had MPs like me over the past 30 years, speaking in the way that I'm speaking, they might not be in the mess they're in now.